Hello. Hi. People are coming. Hi. Obviously laying down. Hi. You know what? I'm like in so much pain right now because I never put in my retainers and I have in my retainer and especially the bottom retainer. Oh, the pain. But it's kind of like a pleasurable pain. People with braces know what I'm talking about, right? Where it's like, oh, like it hurts, but it also feels good. Um, so anyways, no. I don't really drink for fun, but I just thought I would hop on here. Hi, because there's some things that I want to talk about. Okay, so anyways, things on my mind. Okay, first of all, quarantine, like single people in quarantine. I got a new face wash today, right? And I opened it up and I was like, oh, like this smells like a man. And I was like, oh, Kimberly, like it's been a long quarantine. It's been a long 8 months. And I'm serious about my quarantine. I know that y'all are risking it all to fornicate, but that is not me. Oh, you know what? Okay. I have photos that I think we can share. I've been collecting screenshots of things. So I've never done this. Let's see how this works. What photo is this? Oh, that's Kiki Palmer's tweet that I screenshotted. Oh, you can't see him. Oh, I guess all of the screenshots have to be in the right dimensions. What is this? Oh, this is my do you like that man or are you ovulating? Totally. I also screenshot this about Kiki Palmer. Anyways, y'all know Kiki Palmer was talking about EBT. That's why I have some screenshots because I'm going to talk about that later. Um, y'all leave poor people alone. Why are y'all all up in poor people's business? Like, I don't understand. What do you get from that? What do you get from that? Anyways, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, Kiki Palmer, I don't know, yesterday, the day before, tweeted something like, "Why EBT should only be able to be used for healthy food." Girl, mind your business. Okay, so this is like the opposite of like the people who are broke worried about people making over $400,000. This is rich people worrying about poor people. Everybody needs to mind their tax bracket, okay? Leave poor people alone. Like what the and it's like as somebody, as a rich person is the only thing that she eats or purchases healthy food? No. So why are poor people not people? Like like I don't get it. No, she actually is wrong. Leave poor people alone. Leave poor people alone. like um okay. Why black people get 10 years removed from poverty and get it twisted. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. Wait, somebody says, somebody walk me through this Patty's son mess. What happened with Patty's son? Celebrities need to mind their business, like shut up and hop in your jacuzzi. Totally. Right? Like, so, I mean, okay. I guess because I have been not clear enough about this. The problems facing poor people is not that they don't have good judgment, so that they're going out and wasting their EBT money on snack food and processed food and all of that. The problem facing poor people is overwhelmingly, especially if you are black or Latino, you live in a food desert where you don't have access to healthy food, fresh produce, right? So I live down the street from a Whole Foods, swanky neighborhood right next to a super swanky neighborhood, right? The problem is it is much more difficult to have access to the quote unquote healthy food. And even though we actually might need to like start talking about food differently, because like that also like creates stigmas. I was just reading an article about this. So it's like if you really care about what poor people are consuming, right? What poor people are feeding their children, then you should lobby for these neighborhoods, because we know residential segregation is still a thing. You should lobby for health food stores and affordable produce to be introduced to those neighborhoods. Like that's actually a better use of your time. And healthy foods are so expensive. Totally. People thought his tweet was meant for a fake Twitter account, but turns out it was a message from Patty's son. I'm scared about the Pentagon. You know what? Honestly, I'm pretty zen about it. I know that I'm supposed to be really super on edge about what Donald Trump is doing and how they're trying to use the courts to usurp the will of the people and all of that. I'm just not. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's not a possibility, right? Like, I'm not saying that it's completely out of the realm of possibility that Donald Trump could do some crazy shit and that our Republican leading judiciary could rule in his favor and like do some crazy shit. I'm saying that I am choosing not to be stressed out about that. Okay, there's other stuff to be stressed out about, and I can't. Oh, somebody's saying the Pentagon. Okay, so basically, Donald Trump he fired, I don't know, some high ups in the secretary, I mean, in the Pentagon. I know definitely like the secretary of the Department of Energy and then somebody else, a few other people he's fired, right? Or forced out. And so the people who have been put in their space as like the acting secretaries are Trump loyalists, right? Like hardcore partisans who will do whatever Donald Trump wants. So that's why people are saying that they're worried about the Pentagon. Not Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. Okay. What you think about Donald Trump and the mess about us stealing the U.S. election? Four people in the Department of Defense. Yeah. I mean, look, Republicans are evil. We already know that, and they're conniving. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm just not going to do that. Hi. Defund the Pentagon. Defund the Pentagon, to be honest. Defund the military industrial complex. Defund the police. Like, honestly, right? And that's the other thing when people be talking about what they don't want their tax dollars to go to with regard to poor people. Ma'am, your tax dollars are going to drone strikes all across the world, right? Like you need to be worried about that. You do not need to be worried about what poor people are eating. Okay? Thank you so much. Um, were we overly critical of Eva Longoria? Oh, somebody bought a badge. Thoughts on people who choose not to be informed to protect their peace and stay gen? Ethical, yes or no? Honestly, you know what? This reminds me of the conversation that I had with Jenna Arnold, which I had some issues with that conversation, but y'all know. And Jenna Arnold wrote this book about white women and her research and talking to suburban white women and upper class white women. And basically what I learned from what I read of that book was that like 3/4 of white women, like when you survey them, they say that they don't talk politics. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, that was such a crazy statistic to me because I don't know any black people who don't talk politics. None. Even the hoteps. Even the randoms, right? Even the people on the street. Like, there are no black people. I mean, almost none, right? There's some, I know a couple maybe super, super religious black people who are like, oh, like, you know, y'all will fix it, right? Like those kind of black, but like very few. Okay. It ain't no 74%. So there is definitely a certain kind of privilege and comfort that you have to have. And also you have to live in a kind of bubble to never have to engage with politics. Now, I wish that I could be the kind of person where I would just check out and opt out and not look. I mean, well, I kind of am. That's why I don't really know a whole lot about Donald Trump firing people. But I'm still on Twitter and I still see the remnants, you know, and also because I follow so many progressive people and liberal people and they're always posting about politics. There's no way for me to hide from it. I cannot get away from it. Oh, but the next question was, were we overly critical of Eva Longoria? I'm also going to say, I don't know what Eva Longoria said. Did not watch the clips. What was I doing yesterday? Being fast? I was being fast yesterday. So I really didn't, I don't know what the news is. Did you see Katy Perry's tweet about staying connected to your Republican family? She sounded dumb as hell. I'm not staying connected to racist, homophobic, sexist family members. I actually don't think that that's dumb. I know that most people think that, I mean, look, I wouldn't have tweeted it, but like, as I say all the time, look, I'm a black person from the South with very, very religious family. So, no, I don't know any for sure Trump voters. Well, actually, I might know a couple Trump voters. I'm going to be honest. I actually probably am related to a couple Trump voters. I'm going to be honest. Because some of my cousins have been posting stuff where I'm like, what you doing? So no, I'm not going to disconnect from my super, super religious family members. You can do that. Totally. I'm not going to do it. And to be honest, if you're a black person, you probably aren't doing it. You probably have some conservative family members too. Now, Trumpism is a particular thing, right? And you know, in the video that I made about the election, I pulled up an article from New America that said Trumpism actually is a particular thing from just being conservative or being Republican, and it is particularly nasty and heinous, like totally, right? So, you know, if you have a whole bunch of Trump voting family members, I wouldn't put that out. Like, keep it to yourself. But no, I am not on the, you know, you're a horrible person if you don't immediately disconnect from all of your, you know, Trump voting family members. Sorry. I'm not on that. I mean, I'm not sorry, but. Please watch Eva Longoria and give us your take. I might. What a dream. Living in the suburbs, getting Botox, eating healthy food, and not talking politics. Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I'm at the point where I'm just like, we're just going to have to let the white women go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just gonna have to like cut the cord. Like, they're their own thing, and it's like they're taking up too much space. It's taking up too much time. I'm just ready to divest. The same way that like I've mostly just divested from trying to teach black men anything. We're just divesting from the white women because it's too late. It's too late for them. Why the fuck was polling so off? I just wanted to see Susan Collins dethroned. You know what? There was a good episode of the Daily Podcast about this today, and I've read a couple of articles about it. It's just like polling is broken and they don't know how to fix it, basically. especially state and district level polls are super, super broken. Um, so is it true Trump lost many white men? I think that it's early with, us trying to dissect the exit polls and stuff. Like, from everything I'm seeing, everybody I'm following, the real politicos are saying it's a little bit early for us to be drawing grand conclusions from exit polls. But according to the exit polls we have, Donald Trump's vote share went up in every group except for with white men, and with white men, his vote share went down. That's what the exit polls say, but who knows if that's even accurate? I don't know. You're kind of sitting pretty, like you're not chasing views or covering every story. That's iconic. Honestly, that is my dream life as a content creator. I don't want to have to, every single time somebody says something fucked up, or every single time Kellyanne Conway lies or whatever, I don't want to have to make content. Now, I might want to talk about it because, you know, I'm addicted to being on the internet, but I don't want to have to do it to make money. Eva is on some bullshit. What do you think about abolition as a way to create a world outside of white supremacist patriarchal capitalism? I am a prison abolitionist, so yeah. Like, so much of carcerality is tied explicitly to white supremacy and capitalism. So much of it. What book really, gosh, I want to say the the Khalil Gibran Muhammad book about this. Let me look up the name because I can't remember what it's called. Gibran Muhammad book. Oh, The Condemnation of Blackness: Race, Crime, and the Making of Modern Urban America. Really dense read, really hard read, but definitely like underscored some things for me about the connection between our society and the creation of the prison industrial complex. The End of Policing by Alex Vitale is really good. It is really good. I thought it was so good and easy to read and clear, and I just thought he was also a good interview, you know? He just explained things so clearly. Not just prison abolition, also general abolition of this governmental structure. What are your thoughts? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the government is fucking us up, and anarchy would probably be, well, it might, I don't know. Because I've been really thinking a lot recently, especially like in leading up to the presidential election. I've been really thinking about how, as a, I consider myself to be a progressive. I know recently people have been trying to say I'm not progressive. I don't, whatever. Um, so much of our rhetoric and organizing, and especially like political organizing, is about, I mean, essentially it's about increasing our reliance on the state, right? Like making things public instead of private, right? And so, especially leading up to the presidential election, when I thought, oh, Donald Trump might win, I was thinking, okay, so what happens if we can no longer rely on the state, right? Like, what are we putting into place? Like, what mental shifts do we need to make away from the idea that the state is going to come to your rescue, that the state is going to be the site of aid, right? Or like remuneration or reparation. So if we are going to take the state out of it, what do we need to build up in place of that? Like, that's really where my mind was. And even now, still where my mind is. Um, that's the only thought off the top of my head that connects to your idea about abolition of the government, right? Like maybe all of these statist solutions that we've been socialized into thinking are the answer, maybe that's actually not the answer. But I still have to think about this more and read about it more. Abolition of the state would require a complete restructuring of how humans interact with each other. Yeah, yeah, it would. I don't want more reliance on the state. Yeah, so this is like, this is where I want to be careful because it can veer into Hotep territory when we talk about we don't want to rely on the state, right? So at this point, right, we government is the overarching structure, right? It mediates and dictates so much about our lives, and the government does owe us stuff. The government does have a responsibility to make sure that the needs of its citizenry are met, right? So I am okay at this point saying we should petition the government to make sure that and actually shouldn't even say citizens, right? Because that's also coded, that the people who live like in the boundaries and the borders of like this government, like they all need to be okay. I'm okay with that. But I do think that the next step beyond that is thinking about, okay, so the government failed. Now what? I'm still working through it. I'm thinking through it, like reading on it. But I feel like that's kind of where my mind is right now. Okay. The state is responsible as they have the scope, but so many circumstances required to make sure they hold up their end of the social contract. Yeah. Yeah, totally. I feel like people get so scared of the concept of prison abolition, like there haven't been alternatives throughout history. Yeah. I just want them to stop poisoning people, stop setting people up. Why are folks saying you aren't progressive? People are saying I'm not progressive today because I said that it's not useful for us to shit on the people who find joy in Kamala Harris being the first vice president without also trying to push them, like to actually deeply engage with them about their politics. That's why people are saying I'm not progressive today. But it's always something. Um, Tia bought a badge. Thanks, Tia. Yeah, I'm glad we have Kamala, but they had her with Harriet Tubman. I'm actually not even going to go as far to say as I'm not even go as far as to say I'm glad we have Kamala. I can say Kamala is what we have, and I've accepted that. Okay? What I can say is Kamala is the vice president, and I would prefer Kamala to be the vice president over Mike Pence to be the vice president. And because that's all I can give her, I do take issue with the juxtaposition of Kamala with revolutionaries and radicals. I do have a problem with that. And somebody posted under that little video clip on the For Harriet channel saying, well, they're just trying to underscore that Kamala Harris is not possible without Shirley Chisholm and without Harriet Tubman and without et cetera, et cetera. I actually get that. I think that is a useful idea, useful frame and foundation. I just worry. Because I just feel like we just conflate so many. It's like the thing that's happening with Kamala now is the thing that was happening with Barack Obama, right? Where it's like Barack Obama being painted next to giving dap to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Kwame Ture, and it's like no, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. Um, Radical ain't bad. It just means getting to the root of things. And I think Kim tries to do that. No. And that's the other thing. When people say radical, you can't really be familiar with me if you think me describing things as radical is me using a pejorative. Radical is good. Radical politics are the good kind of politics. Most people just don't have radical politics. I don't know what you want me to say. Right? You think radical is bad because you listen to mainstream media. Okay? You listen to the fake news media, and that's why you think radical is a pejorative. But I don't think radical is a pejorative. Sorry. I am yelling, and I'm going to try not to yell. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm a yeller. I'm a yeller. Okay. Having diversity and representation doesn't automatically equal revolutionary, waters down everyone's politics. That's the thing, right? And so, how do we balance? And I don't know if we're ever going to get this right, to be honest. Like, I'm almost ready to move on from this conversation. But how do we balance acknowledging structural barriers and structural obstacles while also saying just because you surmounted some structural obstacles don't mean you got radical on the other side. You didn't come out radical on the other side, right? Like you got over the wall, okay? You crossed the moat, but you weren't I mean, obviously Kamala didn't come out radical. Now she got progressive in the Senate, and that's great. Shout out to her. But there's, 25 other years of stuff that people are looking at. Tia Jane bought a badge. Hello. Brian June Views bought a badge. Hi. Just like Van Jones. Now, Van Jones, what does Van Jones believe? Do y'all know what Van Jones' politics are? I really don't know. What is he? I don't know. Do you think the word working class is code for white people? Yeah, generally when people use working class, they mean white people. And it's like it's all tied up in these myths about the dignity of work, right? And like the noble working man, he's going into the mines every day and he's coming out of the mines with coal smushed all over his face. Like it's those old like myths, the old Pennsylvania myths, right? With Joe Biden. And you know what else I watched? I mean, I listened to the daily podcast today, and you know what's so sad is Joe Biden tried to do all of that tap dancing and performing for the white working class people, and white working class people still rejected. I have 20% left. And the white working class people were like, no, actually, like, we're on the Trump train. So all of that talk about fracking and healthcare and working class jobs and all of that, like, was it worth it, Joe? Was it worth it? Because the Ohio whites still were not fucking with it. The rural Pennsylvania whites still were not fucking with it. The idea that people should be happy just to work no matter what treatment or payment they're getting, like, no. Yeah. That's why when people talk about the dignity of work, the dignity of work, I'm like, most jobs are not dignified. So what are we even talking about? And he's still at it, trying to appoint moderate Dems and Republicans to his cabinet. Honestly, like, it's such a mess. It's such a mess. And that's why when Joe and Kamala are like, Black women, we love you. And I'm like, okay, but what is that cabinet going to look like, though? Also, what type of work is dignified? I mean, honestly, it's like just like weird capitalist propaganda. Van Jones's politics are being nice to white people. I mean, truly. Van Jones is a benign opportunist. I was talking to my friend who used to live in Oakland, and he was saying how like none of the Oakland like activists or organizers from Van Jones's like era fuck with him. It's like, who are your people? That's the thing. Like, we have to ask people, who are your people? I think I got this from Amber. Like, who are your people? Who are you accountable to? Who is Van Jones accountable to? Stop White Latinas 2020. Right. But all the cabinet seats, okay. She paid to do absolute. Dems need dance with the ones that brought them to the party. Black people. Yeah. Yeah. Literally, Western European countries split up and exploited African countries, but y'all want to paint them as the epitome of progress. Totally. Okay. Somebody has asked a question. Off topic. Are you watching any shows or movies you really like? Gosh, honestly, okay, this is like late night, so I can say this. Y'all don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I really have not been doing as much TV watching or movie watching as I normally do because I've been being fast. Like, so it's like the time that I would usually spend watching TV, I just have not, I've been. Okay. Moving on. uh, when Joe's when Joe Biden says African American, I feel like I'm being talked to by my overseer on the plantation. Yeah, we know Joe's racial politics are not it. Yeah, I'm happy Ilhan Omar was reelected. I'm happy Rashida Tlaib was reelected and Ayanna Pressley. Capitalism is hard to explain to my mom and aunties. They still have that American dream in their heads. Yeah. I just started Lovecraft Country. Um, I I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make it through Lovecraft Country because I don't like to be scared. I look my subconscious. I don't know how y'all be sleeping after watching that show. I can't do it. I get nightmares. I get nightmares about very benign things. So I don't think I would do good with watching Lovecraft Country. Bye, Natasha. The propaganda hits different. Yeah, I'm so behind. No, obviously, like, people have not. I'm very, actually, let me not talk about this anymore. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Um, I grew up watching horror. I really think that you're either born with that horror thing or not. Like, when I was a kid, my sister, like, even as a little kid, just loved horror movies. And it's like, is something wrong? Are you okay? Like, I don't know. Like, why are you like 11 and like love like gruesome horror? Like, something is wrong. I don't have that. I don't. Lovecraft Country is a top 5 show for me if the next few seasons keep this quality. I mean, I'll try to watch it. I'll go back. Do you think anyone can successfully run in 2024, or is Kamala destined to be the nominee? I do not think Kamala is destined to be the nominee. I do think that, um, ooh, but, wait, it's gonna be hard. I think it would be hard to primary her, but I definitely think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible. Because what I was thinking of when I was considering my answer was I was comparing, like, she didn't really have a whole bunch of support leading up to 2020, but in 4 years, she's going to have so much name recognition and so much momentum that that is going to carry her. But, you know, progressive policies are popular. So if we get somebody who champions progressive policies and is captivating, right, can give a good speech, then absolutely somebody can mount a challenging campaign to Kamala Harris. Totally. Unless Kamala completely flips, you know. Okay. Somebody's hearts are purple. I'm not sure who that is. I'm going to view the badges, people, and shout you guys out. Morissette Archive, love you so much. EPJ underscore 16, holler at you. Tia, love you. Heal with Alice, thank you so much. Tia James, love ya. We're friends. Ryan June Views, we're BFFs. Thanks. Okay. Will AOC be 35? Yes. I think AOC might be like a couple months younger than me, and I will be 35 in 2024. Andrew Yang should run as a Republican. I don't know about all that. Biden would be the incumbent. Are y'all suggesting that she will run against? No, Joe Biden has basically said that he's not going to run again in 2024. Look, let's be honest, y'all. Joe Biden barely made it to 2020. Now, we don't want to be ableist. We don't want to be ableist. We don't want to be ageist. But Joe Biden barely made it to 2020. He's not going to make it to 2024. Let's just, I mean, I don't think he's going to die, obviously. But I'm saying that cognitively, is Joe Biden going to, that's all I'm saying. Um, okay. Joe is a one term. Biden has 3 good minutes left. They don't want to step down ever. The whites are not going to allow AOC to win the presidency. I don't know. I don't know. Let him be retired. I mean, honestly, if we're being honest, Joe Biden needs to be. Okay, let me not do that. But Joe Biden don't need to be nobody's president. Let's be honest about that. Okay? Joe Biden has probably been in bed for a good 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden went to sleep at 7:35. Like, he don't need to be nobody's president. But this is where we are. Okay? This is where we are. These are the cards that we've been dealt, and we're going to deal with it. DNC bullied Joe to run this election. When Kamala called him, he didn't know who she was or what was happening. Okay, well, I'm not going to say all that. Has Kamala addressed her terrible policies? No. The answer is no. What are your feelings on AOC? I like AOC a lot. I think she's really effective. I actually might be somebody who thinks that AOC tweets too much. I know that that's like her primary mode of talking to the people and clapping back and all that. I am not the biggest fan of that. But I like her policies. I think that she's interesting and captivating, a good politician. I know you touched on this in the live you posted on YouTube, but yeah, older Dems have done not a great job of mentoring future Dem leaders. Totally. We make the mistake of standing politicians. Yeah. We don't need to be standing. I would never in life ever run for office. And in fact, I was, talking to somebody at one point who said that he wanted to run for office. And I was like, oh, I need to get off this train right now. Okay? I am off this ride. I am not going to be a political partner or girlfriend or spouse or anything. Nancy, why did reparations leave the conversation politically after the primary? Because Joe Biden is a centrist and he didn't want to upset the working class whites. Joe Biden ain't going. Oh, now I only have 10% left. That means, how long have I been doing this? 42 minutes? I did fall for all the folks in that documentary, Bringing Down the House, and I was super excited to vote for Cori Bush. Yeah, that was actually a really good and inspiring documentary, and I'm really glad that Cori Bush won. I wish the political landscape was a bit more diverse regarding age. It's so important to have young, old, and in between people, not just the welder. Oh, the elders? Is that what you meant? The elderly. You corrected it. Yeah, right? Like, and this is the thing about, there's been like a few articles and there's been a lot of analysis about how baby boomers and like the greatest generation, like they're hoarding the American dream. And that shows up in how much wealth they have. But it also shows up in how they have consolidated political power, how they refuse to let go of it. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, you don't care about your children or your grandchildren because a part of that care is saying, okay, my time has passed. I'm going to pass the torch. And it's like we're supposed to revere these people and, talk about how great they are and how selfless they are. And Gen Y, which is millennials, get so much shit. And Gen Z gets so much shit. But I'm like, it's those people who are using up all the resources. It's those people who fucked up the planet. Like, it's those people who have all the money. Like, so it's like, Okay. Thoughts on Katie Porter? I like Katie Porter and her whiteboard a lot. During the ACB nomination, Feinstein was like, back when I was in college in the 50s. Yes, sorry, not to yell. I'm trying to yell less. But like, yes. Okay? Like, like these people have completely lucid memories of life before integration. You know what I'm saying? Like, they talk about back at the sock hop. Like, what? What? Not Dianne Feinstein talking about Yeah, like when I used to go to the soda counter, in 1952. Like, what? Okay. Okay. Dividends of whiteness. Over 50% of whites aged 18 to 29 voted Trump. Okay. Yeah. Pelosi needs to go. We're also seeing how young whites are trying to hold on to power too. They too want the dividend. Yeah. They watch Lucy on a 6-inch. Yes, it's like y'all talking about the black and white floor model TVs. Like it's time for you to hang it up. Me as a judge in 2029, back when I was on the set of 106 and Park. That would be like me as a senator in 2075 being like, okay, so I remember when we all remember, right, when Mariah Carey had her nervous breakdown on TRL. Like, okay, anyways, that's an old millennial reference. Look it up. um Republicans seem better at developing young leaders. Yeah. All deliberate speed is political pace. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm a 26-year-old, but I remember elementary school, we called them sock hops. Yes. I obviously grew up in the suburbs, and it's like once every 3 years, there would be like a 1950s themed dance or something. And so we would have a sock hop. And my mom, legit, because she's such a good sewer, she made me a poodle skirt. And I loved that poodle skirt. It was so cute. But like, that poodle skirt was like a relic of, sit ins. Okay, Cuomo, let's talk about it. Which Cuomo? Chris Cuomo? Y'all really trying to smash Chris Cuomo? Look, I told someone months ago that Chris Cuomo was fine. He's fine. For an almost 50-year-old white man, Chris Cuomo is attractive. Like, y'all are fronting. You ain't got a lie to kick it. Now, Andrew, it's a no. But Chris, it's a yes. Okay. This floating keeps making me think I'm having a medical issue. Sorry, I'm holding the phone in my hand and it's like getting unstable. You're giving Olivia Pope? It's the Italian. Honestly, if I was into white people, which I am not at this juncture, but you know what? Also, this is also media propaganda, because I feel in my mind like I would like if I was into white people. Oh, this is really Kimberly After Dark. In my mind, I feel like I would be into the Italian men and the Jewish men, but I also think that that's just because movies paint Italians and Jewish people as like super ethnic. Like they're the black people of white people. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I'm saying. Obviously they're white, right? But like in movies, like Italians are like, we have to stick together, and like they don't respect our kind. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know. Why are older voters more willing to be called racist? uh Imagine if Cynthia Nixon was the governor, though. Pfizer vaccine. I will take a vaccine, you guys. I'm not a vaccine truther. I would take a vaccine, but I think that the vaccine priorities are old people. Oh, let me see how much. We're going to have to go soon. Sicilian is close enough to black for me. Yeah, but we also need to be careful with that because then, they be out here blackfishing and all that. And then they're like, oh, I'm not white, I'm Sicilian. And it's like, what do you check on the census? We love a Jewish king, but he has to support the Free Palestine movement. True. We're not going to have sex with any Zionists. Let me be careful before, Snow Allegra. Yeah, I like her. Because on TikTok they think any white boy that's remotely attractive is spicy white. Okay. I've been on 3 dates with Jewish men in a month. Oh, that's a lot. First of all, are y'all being safe? Are y'all taking COVID tests? I know y'all are not. Y'all are out here spreading COVID like it's fucking notes in third grade. Like, what the fuck? Can we retire the term spicy white? Would you make a video on black rappers supporting Trump? No, we're past that. I don't think I'm gonna do any more election content. I was thinking of, okay, there's 132 people on here, but I can say this because it's Kimberly After Dark. I was thinking of it, if somebody was going to come visit me, like, we would have to take multiple COVID tests. I was just talking about this with my friends last night. Like, literally, like, multiple times a week we would have to take rapid COVID tests because I'm very paranoid about it. Chris Evans. Chris Evans is not spicy white. He just likes black women. Ossoff is the tether of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I saw somebody today, like a Gen Xer, lusting after John Ossoff, and I was like, I don't know. Any hints on the topic of your next video? Um, the next video is gonna have to be a sponsored video, and I think the sponsor is a sex toy company. But obviously, I'm not gonna do no sex toy review. Like, what the fuck? Like, no. So it's gonna have to tie into black women and sexuality and sexual liberation and performance and all of that. Like, that's what it's gonna have to tie into. Okay, I have to go because my phone is about to die. Just move them in. Just move them in. I am not moving no men into my home. I even feel anxiety about having somebody in my home for a week or possibly 2 weeks. Like that actually, I'm like, oh, you gonna lay up in this bed for 10 days? That's a long time. Oh, you're gonna be in my shower? That's a long fucking time. I've been thinking about this. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not claiming anybody. I'm not. Okay. I'm from South Dallas. Come visit. What part of South Dallas? I mean, like, what are the. Well, I'm not. Don't say the streets. Never mind. I was going to say, what streets do you live? Okay, I have to go. Because my phone's about to die. This was fun. I guess. I don't know. This is not even Patreon worthy. But I'll download this and put it somewhere. Because it can't go on my Instagram, girl. It's too much. We've been doing too much. Um, It's a pandemic. I'm not going to Six Flags in a pandemic. But that's the other thing about why a long distance relationship is literally like the perfect relationship for me, because I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk every day. And that's also why, like, long distance and really busy, like, get some business, right? That's right. I don't have time to be texting all day. I have things to do. Okay. I actually really do have to go. Okay, bye. See you later. Bye.